Hi, and welcome to Animation Server Training video number 1. This is just going to give you a very basic idea of how to work with an MLP. MLP being another name, a more traditional name for an animation server. What we're going to be doing today is setting up just basically for a chair. Now, when you get your box, it's going to be called probably Basic MLP. And what you want to do is go to Content tab under Edit Window. And the first thing you're going to notice is that you have your note cards here, your animations that you will have to load yourself, and then pillow, which is a prop. It's just a basic prop. We'll get to that later, nothing to worry about. Ball, which is always the ball that comes up. No matter how many come up, it always is that same one. Then you have your scripts. Okay, let's take a look really simple, really fast at menu items example. Now in this menu, in your menu items note card, you're going to see menu right here. This one is called example. All is who has access to it. You can find more information about limiting access in your README note card. Then it has blue for one ball and pink for another ball. Now you'll notice here you have blue and pink, two balls. That means two balls will come up. And then if you look at pose, standing, you see stand and stand. So this first pose, you have the standard stand and the standard stand for blue and the pink ball. If you have two balls, you need two poses, two animations. In this case, we're only going to be using one. So usually what I do, because I don't like the pink and blue that you always see, there are 16 colors you can use, and they are all listed in README note card as well. I am going to make this particular chair for males, let's say males. So now I have a menu named males. Everyone has access to it, and it's going to come up with one black ball, which means I need to change the names of these other buttons. I did notice we have sound here. We don't need sound with this one. That's just an option. And seeing as we only have one black ball coming up, swap will not work, so we can get rid of that. We can continue to make this a very, very simple MLP by deleting the sequence controls in the menu items, because we're not going to be doing a sequence. Poof, all gone. Now our first pose, let's call it sit 1. Spelling is very, very, very important here. When you choose your animation, what you want to do is generally click on the first one, right click on it and choose rename, and you'll see that it's highlighted there. And I usually Control C to copy it, and then I'll come back to my note card, and seeing as that's the only animation I want on that pose, that's the only animation I want, I'll do Control V, and I've put the name of the animation behind the sit 1. Now let's go to the next button name, pose name, and we'll choose sit 2, and our second sit. We come over here, right click on it, choose rename, Control C, and we highlight that second pose, Control V, and we have chair sit animation there as well. We can come down here and name this one Sit 3. You can name these anything you like. Just for consistency and simplicity, I've chosen to name them very simply. So we have Sit 3 here. We copy and pasted the name. Now we can just copy that whole line, paste it, change our name from Sit 3 to Sit 4, and then if you look down here, that one's called Chair 7-4. Just change the 3 to a 4 and save it. Now you have a menu. And if you come up here to Tools, Reset Scripts and Selection, you'll see that the MLP starts all over again, and it loads the new information that you have on the cards into memory. All of this, everything that's run in an MLP is loaded into memory when it starts. The positions, the button names, everything. So let's click on it, and lo and behold, we have a menu called Males, Sit 1, and look, a ball came up. Now we can choose to sit on that ball, and if you come up here and hit Yes for Animate My Avatar, we see that he's not in position. So how about we hit our back button, Options, Adjust Pose. We have a spear coming out through him. What we can do is edit that, and we move it like any other prim. We can rotate him, get him aimed in the right direction, and seeing as this is just a basic chair, we're going to set him on that basic chair. He looks about centered there. Now the cool part is turn your camera 90 degrees, rotate around so that you can double check. And now he's sitting on the box. So we come over to our menu again and hit Save Pose. There we go. We see it come up in the chat window. Sit 1 has a new coordinate. We're going to copy, and then we're going to edit on the box itself and choose Positions. And we can paste that position in there. Save it. Always make sure you save it. Then I like to just minimize it because I'm going to be calling it again. You go back to your menu, Sit 2, and as soon as it switches to Sit 2, there we go. We click on the beam again, and we can rotate him again like we did before. Move him over. This is usually the best way to do it. Put him in the chair, then move him just above it. I can see his feet are still in the ground a little bit. There we go. Now this box is going to be invisible in the end, so it really doesn't matter what the texture is on it, what color it is, whatever makes it easiest for you. So we go, after we get him positioned, we hit our back button, we go to Options, and we hit Save Pose. And we have Sit 2 up again in the chat window. So we Control C, copy it, open our Positions note card, and on the next line, paste that. Now something I haven't told you is that I make those animations. So, and I do know that those are done in a sequence or series, and I can take the same number from the first one. So once I save the first position, all 4 of those animations have the same numbers. And I can just Control C, copy that, Control V, Control V, and rename these 3 and 4. Save the note card. Then we can shut it all down. Let's do stand up because I hate bouncing off of everything. Come over to our menu and hit shut down and then restart. And that'll restart and load all the positions into memory as you wish. It's not generally this easy because you have different animations with different base positions. In this case, I'm using animations that I made specifically for sitting in one specific chair and being able to be played end to end, so that you can make them into a sequence and it makes it look like the animation is 20 minutes long when it's actually 4 30-second animations. Now let's go back to our box. We still have our menu there, males. We have sit 1 and our black ball comes up. Sit here, OK to animate, and if we check, he's in a very good position. Let's go to sit 2, and we don't see him even jump as you do normally in most switching from one animation to the next. You'll see a jump, but in this case we don't, because I made the animation specifically to run together. I've tended to do that the last year or so to assist in just this type of item. If we switch to sit 3, you'll see that he didn't jump at all, and he just switched right to the next animation. In this case, he's doing a little stretch. I guess he's been sitting there a little bit longer. And then we'll go to sit 4, and there's just this little bitty bump that you wouldn't hardly notice going from animation to animation. And that, my friends, gets you set up for a very basic MLP.